Dobry wieczór. William Tutaj. This week we have an extra long news update, catching up on developments over the past 2 weeks as we look forward to the general election in Poland in October. Tym tygodniu mamy wyjątkowo długo aktualne wiadomości, które nadrabia Zalakowski w ciągu ostatnich 2 tygodni oczekiwaniu wyborczego parlamentarnego październiku. What a busy period it's been for news in Poland. Our main topics include the resignation of the Marshal of the Sejm, Marek Kuczynski, following a 2-week-long controversy over his alleged use of official aircraft, or misuse, the formal calling of the general election by President Andrzej Duda, manoeuvrings by various political parties to form alliances to contest those elections, and a major controversy in Poland on the social fault-line issue that is LGBT rights, including over remarks by the Archbishop of Krakow. Indeed, the latter controversy last week saw a sharp editorial in the Irish Times concerning the issue of gay rights in Poland. All that news is even before President Trump visits Poland at the end of August. Such visits, of course, are always indeed newsworthy. Speaking of the election, first of all, the ruling party, Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, or Law and Justice, has a strong lead in the opinion polls, and will be seeking to secure an absolute majority in the Sejm. Despite much negative coverage of its tenure in the foreign media, including in Ireland, the party will be banking on winning support based on its record of delivering on populist spending commitments, strong economic growth, record low unemployment, and the strengthening of relations with the United States, seen in Poland as an important guarantee of security in the face of a resurgent Russia. Set against that would be strained relations with the European Union, a perception by some of a streak of authoritarianism, and sporadic allegations of corruption. As we said previously though, while Prawo i Sprawiedliwość looks favoured to win the upcoming general election, it's always dangerous to make predictions based on opinion polls, and events of course can always intervene. Such a case of inopportune timing, which probably as much as the substance or otherwise of the allegations he faced, ultimately cost the Marshal of the Sejm, Marek Kuczynski, his job. In Poland, the Marshal of the Sejm is the equivalent of the Speaker of Parliament in the UK, and the role is considerably more prestigious than that of, say, the Crown Coil of Dáil Éireann. It followed 2 weeks of controversy and ongoing media revelations concerning the number of flights on official aircraft taken by the Marshal, and about the presence of family members and political supporters on some of the flights. Marek Kuczynski, a Prawo i Sprawiedliwość lawmaker, twice tried unsuccessfully to defuse the controversy by announcing he was making donations to charity to the value of the flights of family members, while maintaining consistently that he'd done nothing wrong. He also claimed there was no official mechanism for family members to pay for such transport, and that the number of flights was due to the active way in which he carried out his functions, attending many events throughout the country and abroad. The opposition Platforma Obywatelska party tabled a motion of no confidence in the Marshal, which was due to be debated and voted on in the Sejm last Friday, which of course the government had the votes to defeat. However, on Thursday evening, following internal party meetings, it was announced at a press briefing at the Prawo i Sprawiedliwość headquarters, given jointly by Kuczynski and Prawo i Sprawiedliwość chairman Jarosław Kaczyński, that the Marshal would resign, with the party leaders saying it was a case of Prawo i Sprawiedliwość listening to what the people of Poland were saying. Kuczynski said he was resigning due to what he termed social expectations. Kuczynski will still be a Prawo i Sprawiedliwość candidate for the elections to the next Sejm, and indeed received a standing ovation in thanks for his work from government legislators. The opposition condemned Kuczynski's record as Speaker, saying he had trampled on their rights, and called for further investigations into the flight's matter, including into whether the former Speaker had lied. The government has also announced that it will prepare a bill on the transport of officials in an attempt to show it's learned from the controversy. The Kuczynski affair was hardly the start Prawo i Sprawiedliwość would have wished for their election campaign, but such indeed are the vagaries of politics. The party will hope that the Marshal's resignation will bring a halt to the controversy. The government moved swiftly to replace Kuczynski with Interior and Administration Minister Elżbieta Witek, who consequently left the government. She had only been appointed as the Interior Minister in the reshuffle following the European Parliament elections. Her nomination was approved by the Sejm, with the support of 245 deputies, although, with the election pending, she'll preside over just 2 sessions, depending of course on the outcome of that election. Mariusz Kaminski has been appointed as the new Minister of the Interior and Administration. Speaking of political controversies, the Austrian businessman Gerald Belfinger has given 3 hours of testimony in Vienna, answering written questions submitted by Polish prosecutors. It's the 7th time he's given testimony, with his legal representatives claiming he felt pressurised in Poland. Bergfellner has made allegations against Jarosław Kaczyński in the so-called Srebrne Towers affair, with the Prawo i Sprawiedliwość chairman denying any wrongdoing. On Tuesday of last week, the senior presidential aide and European Commission nominee, Krzysztof Szczerski, confirmed that President Andrzej Duda has selected October the 13th as polling day in the general election. It was the earliest date the head of state could have selected from the available options, and was formally approved by the State Electoral Commission. Duda had signalled an early polling day in an interview the previous Friday on the private TV channel Telewizja Polsat, saying, "An electoral campaign is never a calm period by its very nature. It's always a time of political clashes," and that he believed Poles want to see as few such clashes as possible. That's probably one wish the President may well not see realised. The major political parties have moved swiftly to form alliances and prepare their states of election candidates. The 3 main left-wing parties, Wiosna, Razem and Sojusz Lewicy Demokratyczne, announced they'll run together on a common list as the Left Electoral Committee, using the structure of the SLD or Democratic Left Alliance. That device may require the SLD to change its statutes to accommodate the new name. It's a way of the 3 parties to avoid running as a formal coalition, which would set the threshold for entering the Sejm at 8% of the vote, compared to the 5% required for a single party list, even if in reality it's made up of more than one party. So who said that only the Irish electoral system, with its proportional representation and single transferable vote, is complicated? In 2015, a coalition led by the SLD fell short of the 8% threshold, winning 7.55% of the vote. So they're looking to avoid a repeat of that mistake. The Left Electoral Committee will be led by Wiosna leader Robert Biedron, but he won't himself seek a seat in Parliament. The Left are not the only party on the political spectrum being inventive in their desire to enter the next Sejm. Kukiz Piętnaście has teamed up with the Polish People's Party to run candidates from the PSL list, with leader Paweł Kukiz claiming it's simply a device to avoid the time and effort involved in running a separate list of their own. He had also reportedly held talks with Prawo i Sprawiedliwość chairman Jarosław Kaczyński about running on a joint list with the governing party, and also with Konfederacja. Opinion polls had shown Kukiz Piętnaście hovering just above the 5% threshold, and the Polish People's Party slipping below it, so such an alliance could secure both their futures in Parliament. Of 41 Kukiz Piętnaście members elected to the current Sejm, the parties have reduced their strength to just 22. Prawo i Sprawiedliwość accused Kukiz of abandoning his anti-establishment principles by tying up with the Polish People's Party, describing it as the most pro-establishment of all the parties. While there will be no overall unity on the opposition side, there is speculation of agreed opposition candidates for the 100-member Senate, where members are elected on a first-past-the-post basis. The parties have until the September 3rd deadline for the presentation of lists to reach agreement. Should the opposition secure a majority in the upper house, it would act as a brake on any re-elected Prawo i Sprawiedliwość government. Meanwhile, Prawo i Sprawiedliwość is finalising its electoral list this week, according to its election chief and newly elected MEP Joachim Brudziński. It's already announced Jarosław Kaczyński as its lead candidate in Warszawa and Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki as its number 1 candidate in Katowice. The controversy surrounding now former Speaker Kuczynski doesn't appear to have done much damage to Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, according to a phone survey released on Tuesday. The poll for Facte, TVN and TVN24 gave the governing party 42% support for the general election, compared to 27% for the Civic Coalition, the main opposition bloc comprising Platforma Obywatelska, Modern Party, Polish Initiative and the Greens. The poll placed Lewica, the left-wing bloc of the Democratic Left Alliance Wiosna and Razem, in third place on 11%, with Confederation and National Movement just making it over the line into the same on 5% support. Even with their joint list, the Polish People's Party and Kukiz 15 look to be in trouble, as the poll saw them fall below the threshold on just 4% support. The poll separately found that a majority of respondents wanted the prosecutor's office to investigate the alleged misuse of official aircraft by the former Marshal of the Sejm, with 59% wanting an investigation and 31% not. Then again, given the controversy, even those figures are not quite as overwhelming as one might expect. We do really look forward to bringing our listeners plenty of news about the election. I, for one, love elections. In a reflection of what ultimately may well be the deciding factor in the general election in favour of the current government, namely the healthy state of the Polish economy, last week Labour Minister Bożena Borys-Stopia announced that registered unemployment fell to just 5.2% in July, down from 5.3% in June, the lowest July monthly rate since 1991. There has been a major controversy in recent weeks in Poland about LGBT rights, with a number of protest marches and controversial remarks by Archbishop Jędraszewski of Kraków. Last Saturday, the city of Płotsk saw around 1,000 people take part in the city's first ever gay rights march. It passed off without major incident and followed earlier violent clashes at a similar march in the northeastern city of Białystok at the end of July, where marchers were confronted by football hooligans and far-right activists. Remarks by the Archbishop, in which he referred to the LGBT agenda as a neo-Marxist plague, were widely condemned, including by some within the church, although the Archbishop did clarify he was referring to the ideology, not to individual people. There has been some comment that the heightened awareness of the LGBT issue may serve as a temporary distraction for the church from the recent coverage of paedophilia among some churchmen. Jarosław Kaczynski has also been blamed by some for inciting an anti-LGBT atmosphere for political gain, a charge rather clumsily and perhaps unfairly laid in a recent Irish Times editorial in this country. Following the earlier confirmation that US President Donald Trump is to make his second visit to Poland from August 31st to September 2nd, a Polish presidential aide said on Tuesday that he is expected to deliver a public address on September 2nd at a NATO base where US troops are stationed. The aide also claimed that what he termed the exceptionally good personal relations between Presidents Duda and Trump strengthened Poland's position internationally. Turning to an issue that's also becoming controversial in Ireland, and indeed in many other countries, namely the use of electric scooters. In the face of what's become a daily series of accidents, especially in Warszawa, Poland is imposing restrictions on electric scooters. New regulations will define scooters in the same way as a bicycle, with a top speed of 25 km per hour while travelling on a cycle path, or 30 km where there is no cycle path. They can also be used on sidewalks, but only where they are at least 2 metres wide. The minimum age for using an electric scooter would be set at 10 years, even if accompanied by an adult. Making the announcement, the Ministry of Infrastructure said that these proposals will ensure a higher degree of safety for road users, for both pedestrians as well as the users of the electric scooters themselves. It's estimated that up to 10% of Poles use electric scooters. That one will certainly divide opinions. To finish on some lighter news, last Sunday Poland won the European Athletics Team Championships for the first time, before a home crowd in Bydgoszcz. Also, huge congratulations to all the secondary school students studying in Ireland who received their results this week, including, especially in the case of Irlandia, members of the Polish community in Ireland. Bardzo dobrze zabrone. Now enjoy what's left of the summer. Ta wszystko na czym tydzień. sa praisian na coléní posta a bhaine sa tiideann ota Sámi Póise. Dobránar.